Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today to the webinar organized in collaboration with Capsimize India on the topic, a new way to co-manufacture. It all starts with access. We have with us Mr. Avinash Papat, founder Capsimize India, who will moderate the discussion and tell us more about co-manufacturing, which is a very strategic topic. We will start with the short concept video of 2 minutes, followed by a presentation of Capsimize India by Mr. Babat, and then followed by 4 senior experts who have already used their tool. So let's start the video if you don't mind.
Yep. Thank you so much, Bruno. First and foremost, thanks a lot to the Indo-French Chamber for giving us this opportunity, and to Bruno and his team for taking the efforts to make it. So we are just starting with the concept video, a 2-minute corporate video of Capsimize India.
Capsimize, making Indian manufacturing capacities virtual through high-end algorithm-driven technology platform, resulting in improved ROI. Objective of the Government of India is to make India a self-reliant and global manufacturing hub. We at Capsimize would strive for optimal utilization of capacities, resulting in business growth, increased employment, and improved loan portfolio. With Capsimize, you can flexibly be a capsimizer, meaning capacity provider, or be a capsimizee, meaning capacity consumer. As a capsimizer, you have surplus manufacturing capacity. The platform helps you find the right partner to enhance your business opportunities, resulting in higher capacity utilization and improved ROI. As a capsimizee, you may be located anywhere in the world and are looking for pan-India manufacturing capacity options. The platform will help you to improve the effective cost of production through discovery of surplus capacities. You can continue to focus on your core competencies such as research, branding, global expansion, whilst the production needs are met through the recommender system on the platform. The secured cloud-based platform with its proprietary algorithm will use artificial intelligence to recommend the right partner for you and execute smart contracts on blockchain technology. To get started, register for free, upload your capacity details, which will be kept masked and confidential. Capsimize will help you execute long-term capacity underwriting contracts. Capsimize will transform the global manufacturing landscape with enhanced ROI at the fulcrum. Collaborate, coexist, co-elevate. Capsimize.
Hope everybody was able to see it. And so, Mr. Bruno, I would like, with your kind permission, can we start the small presentation about Capsimize India? And I would say that as the word capsimize, it primarily means maximizing capacity utilization. And that's what we are trying to do and striving for it. So quickly, I will move without wasting time to the slides, and we will take you through a small presentation. So that's what we call it as a new way to co-manufacture. And what we mean by that, let's move. So basically, our objective is to making India a global manufacturing hub. And what we really mean is that we are a knowledge-based digital platform with curated information about Indian surplus manufacturing capacities, making them virtual for the domestic or global use. So primarily, when we say that access makes the disproportionate growth opportunities. So we are basically providing the access by way of a search engine for all and every surplus manufacturing capacities available in India. So that's what we are. And go next. So how do we do it? So we have basically the capacity providers, which are Indian organizations who have surplus manufacturing capacities, and we have domestic as well as global corporates who are looking at pan-India surplus manufacturing capacities. We have designed a proprietary algorithm which touches multiple thousands of parameters before it recommends the ideal partner for you. And on the basis of that, the ecosystem partners facilitate the transaction. So what is really the genesis? Why did we come with this? What happens without Capsimize and what happens with Capsimize? Now, you may be an Indian corporate or a corporate situated anywhere in the world, and you want to look for manufacturing capacity option. What are your options without Capsimize? It's either you can go to Google or you can have a word of mouth or certain association directories. But realistically, it's more like a black box because that does not tell you regarding the details of the manufacturing capacity, what kind of machineries, what kind of capabilities, what kind of processes, what is the surplus available. There is no curated data available which results into loss of business opportunity. It gives you an uncertainty on sourcing security. Today, in day and this world, the sourcing security is becoming extremely critical. The supply chains are getting disrupted, and that's where you really need a quick fix solution, which is what Capsimize offers. So basically, the capacity providers registers and uploads all the capacity details, and the Capsimize, as I call it, that is the person who is searching for capacity, he searches the right partner. So the knowledge-based curated data on the platform and its proprietary algorithm gives you the right connect, gives you a substantial saving in terms of it makes a capex to opex model. It also gives you a substantial saving of time and additional business opportunity. That's a result of Capsimize. Go ahead. What is really the sector play that we are doing? So the sectors that we have selected are primarily on account of the following reasons as to what is really the growth potential of these sectors. Number one. Point number two, are these sectors used to having a third-party manufacturing locations to be underwritten? And keeping those two factors in mind and the growth opportunities for the sectors, we have selected these 5 sectors and invested all of our time and energy in learning about the manufacturing nuances of these sectors. Go ahead. The important and interesting point I think we all should know is that we are not a product company. We are not a directory. What we are is that we understand what is manufacturing, and we are, though the manufacturing capacities might be sector centric to begin with, but we as a platform are making them sector agnostic. Reason and examples is that you might be presently doing business in a particular sector, but your manufacturing capacities can be used by multiple sectors, and that's what we mean by saying that we are making manufacturing capacities sector agnostic. That's where we are. The platform has substantially high level of security and confidentiality features. It uses all the possible latest technology. It's a cloud-based platform. And at the same time, it has a confidentiality because you might be the largest multinational or you might be a small medium scale company in India. Everybody has an alphanumeric code, which is your identity. So we call it like a UID. It's your unique identification definition is that. So we maintain confidentiality, and at the same time, the cloud-based platform with its all encrypted data, with the requisite precautions taken, which we have our CTO with me, who will be, during the QA can answer if there are any queries on the tech side. Go ahead. So really also what it means from the perspective of ESG and circular economy, because really what is the ESG is the environment. And why are we saying that we help in terms of environment is because today, if we are in a position to utilize the existing unused available manufacturing capacity, you don't need to realistically damage the environment by creating newer facilities till the time you exhaust the existing. Point number two is that make where your market is rather than incurring the logistic and creating more carbon emissions. And that is given by specific examples that a single kind of a tanker carrying some chemicals in India and going 60 miles will be generating more than 400 carbon emission certificates. So that's the kind of environment that we are looking at. Plus rural employments, because there are many times the industry is spread across the country, and we would like to utilize all this and use also the circular economy benefits by coming to the responsible production and responsible consumption. So that's the angle of ESG and circular economy. Going forward, how was the journey? Yes, the journey has been started nearly 24 months back. And today, while we are here, we launched ourselves into the market in January 2022 to try and test out the proof of concept by understanding whether the corporates are comfortable. Are the corporates really moving towards the digital side of the growth? And we are happy to share that we are now, within a short span, we are able to touch nearly 2,000 corporates who are already a strong family for Capsimize India. And they are all reasonable size corporates. They are having the annual aggregate turnover of the capacity providers to the level of 8 billion US. And we are growing fast. And we would like all the people who are participating in today's webinar to take cognizance of this, take this opportunity to move your sourcing security problems to us, move your marketing requirements by remarketing your capacities, and we also will help you to reduce your vendor development time by offering you a proper algorithm-driven options for the match. And that's where we are, and I don't want to take your time further. And I would like, of course, the panelists to talk, but in the meanwhile, would request Bruno to come in if this presentation was good enough, or do you want anything else? Mr. Bruno. Or should we move to the panelists now?
The presentation was very clear, neat, precise, and straight to the point. So super.
Thank you, Mr. Bruno. And we go ahead with now the panelists who would share either their experiences or their views on the platform as to how they feel about it. We have with us a very, very prominent personalities. One of them whom I'm requesting first to come in is Mr. Pradeep Gadre, Chairman Managing Director, Skitech Healthcare. He is a pharma and nutraceutical expert. And I would request Mr. Gadre to share his views as to what are the things. Few of the questions that I thought, Mr. Gadre, we can address or you can address to the gathering is that what is really your view on the growth outlook for the pharma sector from India as well as overall global perspective. Second, the segments in Indian pharmaceutical sector as to how this is segmented right now, and how do you think the so-called contract manufacturing as commonly known, though that is not what we refer, but how does that work? And according to you, how is Capsimize as a platform, how relevant it is to the industry? So I thought that if you could give your views on that. Over to you, Mr. Gadre.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, Mr.
Absolutely.
Gadre, you're clear now.
Okay. Thanks to the Indo-French Chamber of Commerce and our friend Mr. Avinash for giving me an opportunity to share my views on pharma sector, specifically which pertains to the two areas, pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals, which is the major one whenever we talk about pharmaceutical or drugs and medicines are concerned. India today is called as pharmacy of the world. And pharmacy of the world, the terminology is been not only because India manufactures, possibly in terms of units, the largest number of products in the world, but also the innovation and the newer ways by which Indian pharmaceutical industry is basically addressing to the world. Now, Indian pharmaceutical industry, rather than just the numbers, what I would like to put it from the point of view that Indian pharmaceutical sector is one of the highest growth sector, followed next only to the IT sector and possibly the gems and jewelry, as it is normally called as. So pharmaceuticals is ever growing, and during last 3 years, thanks to the initiatives by several agencies, including our government, Indian pharmaceutical industries are going leaps and bounds, so that even during the 2 years of pandemic, Indian pharma industry was performing well, not only from the point of view of supplying vaccines and other life-saving drugs and products to the world, but also taking care from the nutraceutical points of view. Now, Indian pharmaceutical sector, where there is tremendous opportunity from the capsimizer or point of view will be, Indian pharmaceutical industry is having surplus capacity specifically for manufacturing of pharmaceutical formulations with innovative products in mind. So those companies who are looking forward for getting their products manufacturing without investment can look towards Indian pharmaceutical sector, specifically for the manufacture of active pharmaceutical industries or APIs and also formulations. Till few years back, India was dependent on getting the basic chemicals or the starting materials as far as the API is concerned from most of the Western countries or China. During last 2 years, there are new initiatives so that even starting materials for the API are being manufactured in India. Thus, India is in a position to give complete service right from contract research and manufacturing, wherein Indian scientists have done extremely well, even in developed countries like US, to such an extent that 34% of the US pharmaceutical scientists are of Indian origin. They are in US, they are working extremely well, and R&D is one of the sector where Indian scientists are been very successful both in India as well as in US. So any research projects starting right from the basic development up to the formulations can be handled in India, and thus India can really prove itself to be a new pharmacy of the world, not only for the routine products, but also for the new innovations which everybody is trying to look into. Now, when I'm talking about pharma, I also refer to the nutraceutical industry, because nutraceutical industry, specifically the products which are coming from the herbal sector, are taking care of people specifically as immunity booster during the worldwide pandemic. So India manufactures several Ayurvedic products right from the basics to the higher level of extracts, which have been used by most of the industries worldwide also. So nutraceutical active material is also a new area where companies which are interested in their own manufacturing will be able to take advantage of it. At the same time, formulations can also be manufactured and developed in India, both in pharmaceutical and nutraceutical sector. Numbers are all available, but rather than number, I would like to dwell more on the varieties in which Indian pharmaceutical and nutraceutical industry can work rather than purely just the numbers. So
Great.
I'll be keen to understand from others, those who are attending the webinar, whatever will be their interest, we will be interested in interacting with those companies so that the Indian platforms as well as the Indian manufacturers will be able to go beyond whatever are the current utilization of their capacities.
Great. Mr. Kadre, I think I would like, of course, during the Q&A, you to come forward and help us in case there are any questions pertaining specifically to pharmaceutical and nutraceutical. We can guide them to you. And in the meanwhile, I would request Mr. Patel. Mr. Patel is the chairman of a German entity called Orlikon, which is into the business of machinery manufacturing for textile. So though they are slightly, I'm not saying different from our sector, but slightly different. At the same time, I felt that it is very important to have the views of a chairman from a machinery manufacturer to know about what's happening on the sourcing security worldwide, what is really the requirement of convenience of information, and really how he thinks that initiative like this can help global supply chain. So over to you, Mr. Patel. Volume. You're muted.
With that semester, yeah. So thank you, Avinash. I think now you can hear me, please.
Yes.
Yeah, fine. So yeah, thank you, Avinash, and also French India Chamber of Commerce for inviting me. And yes, I've been in the industry for many years now. And one thing I can say about the textile. Okay, I am from the textile machinery manufacturing industries, and in particular for the polyester industries. In India, so far, okay, the general trend has been like cotton industries, and when we say textile, it is basically cotton. That's what the general impression. And so today, the ratio of cotton fabrics in India is, you can say, around 65%, whereas world over, it is the other way. We have to we are from the polyester side, and people don't know that polyester is that way cheaper than cotton when we see. So normally you will see the South India as the textile hub where the cotton manufacturing machineries are mostly produced and sold there. As far as the polyester is concerned, so far the machineries have been imported. There are very few companies who are manufacturing machineries for polyester yarn manufacturing sector. In our case, if I say, we have been manufacturing in Germany for many years. Then when China was opened, we set up a plant in China, and we are there for nearly 20 years. And we have been selling the German as well as the Chinese machineries, what we produced in India. As far as the, you can say, the Indian manufacturer is concerned, the quality has been always a problem. And that is the reason we have never entered India for manufacturing of machineries, I would say. But now with government pushing for Make in India, the schemes like PLI is already there, and many other benefits are introduced by the government. And this China plus one theory is playing a big role now. So definitely, just now one cannot just enter and use Capsimize immediately, but definitely I would definitely feel now after hearing full detail. Yes, we have installed Capsimize the applications, but unfortunately we have not been able to fully utilize. But yes, definitely it is in our mind, and one of our other sister companies have already started using it. So now how to enter India? Now you cannot just set up a plant. It's all capital intensive plants. So like having a concept like this type of platform will definitely be useful for those who want to gradually enter the Indian market. Now you look for the capacities, like somewhere component manufacturers will be like all across India. If you want to enter India, just like this type of platform, you can just go where the capacities are available. And now everybody wants to be also satellite, so they can just have the operation, use their brands, their patents, they have the designs, everything, just like have, you can say, a assembly unit, and look for other capacities from the market. So that will be an excellent model for those who are entering now India. And Piyush Goyal, our textile minister, is after all textile, you can say, the industrialist. Ashok would know that he is after everybody to set up the plants in India. They are also after us that why don't you now manufacture machineries in India? Because they know that this is the sector where maybe everybody knows or not, I don't know. Textile is the second largest employment generation industry after agriculture. So the government focus is so much because with these investments they can serve many purposes. So the facilities, the follow-ups are so much. And as I said, if we have to enter India for manufacturing, I think the concept of using other capabilities which are already there. And Avinash, I think what you rightly mentioned, it is really a black box. We ourselves, like textile has been a little bit unorganized sector for years. Even today, we are not in a position to collect the complete data of the capacities of different manufacturers of machineries also. So once you have this type of platform and the curated data is available through your system, your platform, I think there will be great opportunities for those who want to enter. There's just one idea I'm just saying. Those who want to enter India, instead of investing in a big way, they can really use the facility or capabilities and the capacities available in the market as it is. And I think that's a great opportunity what you are creating for textile industry, I would say. Thank you. Okay. Something else.
Thank you, Mr. Patel. I think just to give a feel to the people who are attending it, let me tell you, according to the Reserve Bank of India last year's statistics, it is strange and it was revelation to us also when we started in 2021 June. The Indian manufacturing GVA was approximately 450 billion US dollar by utilizing barely 60% of manufacturing capacity. So if I really take a deductive logic, realistically what it means is that nearly 175 billion US dollar worth of surplus capacity capable to generate a manufacturing revenue of around 175 billion US dollar is lying in the country to be tapped by players who are wanting to enter the Indian market. And it's as Mr. Patel said that everybody wants to be asset light. And as a platform, we have ROI at the fulcrum for everybody, and it's a win-win for all. I would quickly take Mr. Ashley Musketer, who has been our partner right from day one of Capsimize for the electrical sector. He has had long stints with the electronic sector. He has spent a lot of time with LG, who are now looking at India as a main hub for manufacturing as well. So over to Ashley, and I'm going to ask Mr. Chabria to be in the last to tell us, because he has had the experience of looking at the platform, using the platform like Mr. Gadre. And Ashley, over to you for the electronic side as to whatever your views are.
Thank you, Mr. Bapat. Am I clear? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
And thanks a lot to the Indian Indo-French Chamber of Commerce for having given us this platform and expressing views regarding the various sectors in which Capsimize. My journey with Capsimize started during the pandemic, and it was something really unique at that time because I had to get back to my roots of almost 3.5 decades to actually prepare a questionnaire as to how the platform would actually work. So the developing of the information architecture, extensive work was done in the electrical and the electronic sector. The forms were designed keeping in mind the details required while doing the search. And as you know, in electronic equipment, uh, the the basic the components, the process management, and the reliability play a major role in the final product which the customer uses, and within the warranty period, we ensure that there is no failure. So the forms were developed and due diligence was given to ensure that the capsimizer and the capsimizee would get their due. Now, going back to my career, I started in the mid 80s, and I remember going to Japan because that was the place where electronics was. And somewhere in the mid 90s, the situation changed and the Koreans became very aggressive. They landed into India, and they swamped the Indian market, almost achieving the #1 position in white goods across all the products. And then came the you can say 2000, 2005 onwards, it was the Chinese all the way. And today, as we stand, I see India is ready for the world, and the world is ready for India. So there have been a lot of developments leading to this, as I see a future Indian story in the electrical and electronic sector. One is the PLI scheme, which the government has introduced, and it was very, very successful in the mobile space. Now they are introducing it and extending it to other sectors as well. Then we have what is called as the incentive schemes for put in by the state governments. So it's not only the center which is playing a role, but also the state governments which have which are ensuring that they have enough of industry within their localized areas. Now coming to the sector outlook, large multinational companies are now vying to come and work in India, given the situation, the world situation, as well as the situation in China. So, as already mentioned by the previous panelist, we have a one plus policy. Then we have substantial growth in the renewable sector because we have a lot of solar energy be close to the equator. So we see a big growth potential in the wind and the solar sector. Then looking at the IBEF, that is the Indian Brand Equity Foundation, in 2019, the contribution from this sector was 215 billion US dollars, but now there's been a quantum change, and the projected figure at 2025 stands at 540, almost an increase, doubling the current rate. There are great opportunities in this sector going through this platform which Capsimize has actually designed. So just to give you a gist of what is happening in India, I was in the NCR region about 2 months ago, and one of the local salesperson approached saying that he wanted something like 40,000 smartwatches, which targets basically the young generation between the age of 18 to 35. He wanted 40,000 watches a day, and they wanted to book 40 lines, each having 1,000 capacity. Now, 2 months later, last week when I was there, I found the same factory on each line producing 2,500 in a day. And they put up just 10 lines in a space of 2 months, they were able to manufacture 25,000 a day. So this is the rate at which the Indian manufacturers actually are gearing up to ensure that they meet the local requirement and given a chance to also meet the international requirement. Now, Capsimize has been a unique place where it's like a one-stop solution, where we have a whole lot of clusters. If you see the place where I'm in now in Maharashtra, we have got the MIDC, the Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation. Almost in every district, they have put in industrial clusters. And each district is unique in manufacturing. Say the Pune side will be there for automobile as well as for electronics. In the same way, the Nagpur side is more into aeronautics. So every district is earmarked to produce a certain sort of product and to specialize in it. Now, all those industries, they do not have the current visibility, a platform where they can showcase their capability, their capacities. So that is wherein Capsimize comes in and gives them a global platform. As I mentioned, India is now ready for the world, and Capsimize is playing a role in ensuring that India is basically in the lead in ensuring all capacity utilization of existing plants are being met. Another important aspect, as Mr. Bapat has explained, is the sector agnostic approach. So electronics is something now which goes across all the sectors, be it textile, be it automobile, be it pharmaceuticals. We have various types of encrypted type of modules. So there has been a whole lot, a plethora of electronic offerings which have come up. And in places like villages just on the outskirts of the city, you find clusters manufacturing a whole lot of goods like the lighting industry, and they are well supported by their associations. In fact, in electronics, each and every, whether it's white goods or lighting or the cellular, they are supported, and the government they give a representation to the government to ensure that their association members are being taken care of, and the government legislates to ensure that business moves forward. So I see the electronic and electrical sector, it's sort of like a golden age. The next decade is going to be a golden age, and the service providers will definitely go global, and they will go in a big way. So I
Great.
thank you all, and merci beaucoup from my side. I know a bit of French words, so for the French representatives, this is
Lovely. Thank you so much, Mr. Ashley, for your encouragement. And Mr. Chabria, the person who actually runs the textile industry and has been into business for many, many years. And I would like Mr. Ashok Chabria to now share his views regarding the sector, regarding his experience in terms of the platform, and what are his views as far as the textile sector is concerned, that how will the textile sector get any benefit in terms of the platform like this. So over to you, Mr. Chabria, please.
Thank you, Avinash. Thank you, Mr. Bruno, and thank you for the Indian French Chambers of Commerce. Well, just as Mr. Patel said, I would totally agree with him that the textile industry was basically in India was a cotton industry based in the south, and then came in polyesters. And basically the textile industry was totally decentralized, which it is even as on date. And well, I am into polyesters and blends. So all I can say is that I have seen the textile industry from the power loom sector going up to the auto loom and automations is great. People were very small and focused in small towns. And like in Bombay, there was the textile, cotton textile mills, but the viscose, the polyesters, they were all outside and totally decentralized. The growth in textile has been so immense that it is unbelievable. I mean, at a time what I could see in the last 5 years, the production in polyester has grown three folds or four folds. So it's a huge growth. And basically, with so much of growth, there is capacities which are available. Now, textiles basically is not just weaving. It's got sectors, it's got subsectors, it's got from right from yarn to weaving to finishing to processing to garmenting to labeling and lots of things. And each of these sectors need a different kind of setups, a different kind of machineries, a different kind of process. Now, how do you get everything? Now, basically, for me, if I needed a unit, I needed extra capacity. It would have been very difficult. I mean, I would have to ask brokers or ask contacts or ask people, is there someone who has extra capacity? Is there someone I need? And, go around and run around. But with Capsimize, I mean, wow, great job. It became so great. I mean, I could find someone with extra capacity, and I'm so happy with this industry. I'm so happy with doing this work for him. So let me just first tell you that that there are so many sectors in this industry. So for me, for textiles, for weaving, I was easy. I'm not into garmenting, but I would definitely know that there would be so many more people. India as a textiles country is growing by multiples, by leaps and bounds, as just Mr. Patel said it. We are, I think, one of the biggest and going to be the biggest textile manufacturing countries in the world soon, or even overtaking China. So there is a lot of scope, there is a lot of work to be done in this industry. Now, as far as how did Capsimize help me? How is Capsimize? I can straight talk about I was lucky and I was very happy with. The first, let me talk about how it worked. I do appreciate Avinash's platform. I mean, registering was so simple. I mean, yes, you needed details, but the registration of Capsimize or a Capsimizer was so simple. And even the search process, I mean, because of their knowledge in the textile sector, which is great. You need a lot of knowledge in this sector, but the process with these multiple filters, and it narrowed down to the exact place where I wanted. It actually, the manufacturing unit I was looking for, it narrowed down to that. So it became a very simple process. The proprietary algorithm was, evaluating each and aspect parameters of manufacturing is there in this system, right? And it's so detailed, curated. This helped me in reducing my efforts, reducing my time, reducing my energies. It was great. I mean, I think the thing that what the Avinash Bapat has done is so immense. I mean, so helpful. I know that he might be having about 800 or 900 people right now, but I'm very sure he would get much more, because to put up an industry, it costs a lot of time, money, efforts. But to get a capacity and so soon, it's great. I mean, in short, I can only say that this place, Capsimize, is a best thing that could have happened for Indian corporates to offer cost arbitrage and versus other Asian countries, with basically, additional capacities is so necessary in our country. I would just thank you and thank you all once again. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Chabria. And just adding that is that we are now a family of nearly 2,000 corporates as a member. So from the time you saw at 800, we are at 2,000.
I thought 800 textile unit. I thought it
We-
was 800 plus textiles unit.
The textile, yes, textile, you're absolutely right. And I think we would like to get any kind of questions from anybody, and I would like Mr. Bruno to come back onto the screen. And firstly, I want to sincerely thank all the panelists as well as Indo-French Chamber for giving us this opportunity to explain what we are doing and the experiences of the people who have seen the platform. So, Mr. Bruno, if you could just come in and we can take the Q&A, if any.
Hi, Avinash. I will let Pranita manage the Q&A. We have one or two questions, so if you want to start, Pranita.
Mr. Bapat, I'll just read out the question to you and maybe you can address it to the panelists as per their relevance.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question we have is from Mr. Andrews, and is that, do you have any German customers in India?
Yes, we have the panelist also who is sitting here, who is the chairman of a German entity, Mr. B.R. Patel, who is the chairman of Orlikon, as well as we have a fair amount of interest coming into the renewable energy players from the European side who are looking at improving the value chain. As you're aware that the confidentiality clause and the NDAs won't permit me to disclose the names, but yes, we have inquiries coming in, mainly into RE sector as far as Germans are concerned. And Mr. Patel, as I said, that he is here, chairman of a German entity. So yes, we do have inquiries from Germany, if that is what is the question.
Just we may not be knowing the names because Orlikon is a Swiss-based group. So our group is a Swiss-German group. Our first parent company is German, and the second, you can say, ultimate parent company is Switzerland. That is Orlikon, Swiss listed company. And our brands in Germany are known as Barmag and Neumag and Non-Woven. These are our the brands. Maybe our friend who is asking the question may not be aware exactly. So just for his information. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Patel.
The second question we have on the chat box is, how has technology improved in manufacturing and what is its impact?
See, I would say that as far as the manufacturing sector technology improvement is concerned, I think we have the most excellent gentleman by name Mr. Gadre, who is here on the panel. And I think automation, innovation, and technology upgrade, he's a master at that, and he has been operating in multiple countries, so he can quickly answer the questionnaire as to how automation is happening or technology is happening in the manufacturing sector. So, Mr. Gadre.
As far as manufacturing sector is concerned, India in every area, including pharmaceuticals, has started using blockchain technology as the basic process. Now, blockchain technology just few years back was just a theoretical word, but today it has reached to a level that Government of India has got a specific procedure and Government of India has got a policy on blockchain. Now, blockchain is directly and indirectly impacting the industry and impact of technology on industry also. As far as the technology and innovation is concerned, our Indian scientists have done a lot. Specifically, I can give examples as far as the pharmaceuticals are concerned. Now, one of the major area where India has excelled as far as the technology is concerned is development of COVID vaccine. Now, India must have been possibly the second or the third country which developed indigenously vaccine, not only developed but manufactured and marketed it also worldwide, giving it almost to the 65 countries of the world where it was difficult for the other countries to reach. This is from the manufacturing and technology is concerned. In India, almost every dosage form is manufactured today, and newer, the moment anything is done. Earlier, I'll take specific example of US, that whenever a new product will be developed in US, it used to take 7 to 8 years to reach to India. Today, it is in terms of months or even days. There are several products which are initially introduced in India and then they were launched based on Indian experience worldwide. So internationally also, people are aware that Indian industry is capable of providing the technologies specifically for the pharmaceutical sector.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gadri. Hope that answers. Okay, Pranita.
Yes, so the next question we have is from Mr. Pavan Kumar, and I will just read it out to you all. It says that, okay, I think it is addressed to Mr. Bapat. The question goes as, it would be great if you can tell us the number of manufacturing deals executed or supported by Capsimize.
Yeah. So to answer it, first and foremost, let me explain that we are right now acting as a search engine, and we are bringing the two together, the Capsimize, who is searching for capacities, and the Capsimizer, who are providing capacities. In all the 5 sectors that we have approximately 78 transactions which are live in terms of searches, and there are many which have bilaterally concluded the transaction. Because as a platform, we are not a signatory on the bilateral contract. We are bringing the two of you together, getting you the shortlisted entities, giving you the information about those shortlisted. It is up to you to decide which out of that you want to transact with. But to answer your question, there are already 78 transactions which are live. And you can go to the website, you will get to see which are these transactions.
Okay, there we go, Mr. Pavan Kumar, you have your answer. The next question is as follows. How is India being seen as a manufacturing unit, not only as a substitute for China, +1, but also a new entrant?
Yes, I always said that we are not looking at China +1 as an opportunity only, but as Mr. Gadre, as well as Ashley and Mr. Chabria mentioned, there are enough and more opportunities that India is exploring. The government is completely in sync, and as you would have seen from our introductory video, there are 3 areas in which the government is also working. One is primarily making India as a global manufacturing hub. Point number 2 is that there is a substantial opportunity that the government is looking at improving the employment opportunity for the people of the educated mass in India. And the third most important point, as we said, is that manufacturing capacities are sector agnostic. We are not a product company. So there are enough and more multiple opportunities for the manufacturing capacities to be utilized fully. And we are looking at not the option of only China, but sourcing security, which earlier used to be partly, I would say, not very seriously looked at for India because the capacities were fragmented and smaller as compared to the Chinese installations. But India is also following the model now, is that larger and consolidated manufacturing capacities are available through industrial clusters. And at the same time, we are looking at exploring various new countries, new markets for the sourcing from India. And I don't think that we are looking at China +1 as the only story. That's just one of it.
Okay, and I think we move towards the last question of the session. The question is, metal fabrication industry is quite diverse and engineering process control is traditionally manual. How can Capsimize enable rapid technological growth?
Okay, I think just to clarify that we are not into a technology advisory kind of role, just to make it a little more clearer. But what happens is that there is a governance and there is a compatibility which happens. Now, suppose there might be a manual operations into that kind of a fabrication unit. But when there is a large corporate who is wanting to underwrite your capacity for longer period of time, there would certainly be the technology upgradations which will come along with the partner that you are being selected with. And always we would be more than happy as we are moving forward. Capsimize will be having additional services which we will be offering that includes and not limited to whether financial services, whether technology upgradation, whether due diligence services. So those will be coming by your way. But at the moment, to answer your question, partnerships that we are forging for you are the ones with the large corporates who would definitely bring about an automation and the technology upgradation for you. But as a sector in general, we are not here in terms of the advisory role for automation, but we definitely will help you by getting the right partner who can automate your facilities.
Thank you, Mr. Bapat, for your response. And I think these were the questions we had in the chat box pertaining to the webinar today. I request Bruno to go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to Avinash, Ashok, Ashley, Pradeep, Mr. Veera Patel for all this insight. And to our esteemed participants, do not hesitate if you have any more questions, requests to contact us. We'll forward all these requests to Mr. Bapat. If you want to say the last word, Pranita?
Yes, before concluding, I would just like to thank all the participants for joining in. A special thanks to Capsimize India, Mr. Bapat, Mr. Sanjeev for helping us organize this webinar. And most importantly, to all the panelists for joining us today. As we are ending this year, we have the new calendar out and we have the first event in 2023, that is the After Work Networking Cocktail, which will be held on the 20th of Jan in the Mumbai office. So those who are willing to attend, please send in your RSVPs. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Everybody.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Great, pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.